What's up, guys? So let's look at some other funky stuff. I wanted to start out with music blocks that get repurposed to do more than just jumping on them. I like having things do more than one thing. This is one of those examples. So let's see here what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, so what just happened, right? We're using it to bounce off the music block, but I'm also using it as the next thing to jump on, which is kind of cool. Let's remove some of these saws so we can see what that looked like. Okay, so we have just a buzzy hanging underneath. There's a down spring right underneath it. So when I bounce on it, it flings it over. Pretty cool, right? Okay, full jump and we land on that spot. Okay, so here's another example where we're using the note block for something else. This time there's a shelmet in it and there's a spring going across. So let's look at it in real time. Cool. Basically the shelmet drops, flings over here. Now these are all here for cheese, so let's just remove that. We jump over here, we jump full height over, the shelmet flies up through here, lands on it. Let's take a look at this again. Perfect. Very simple, but totally cool. Here's another really basic setup. Basically, the player comes over here, bounces on this, knocking down an enemy. And we want the player to jump up or have some reason to jump straight up. So put an on-off block over here. Let's take a look. And then they go over there from there. Just another example. You could also remove the bottom thing and putting a flying enemy in instead of the ground underneath. Let's take a look. Same idea. Let's look at a basic example I incorporated with some different mechanics. We're basically going to hit the Koopa that pops out of this music note block. We're going to hit it twice. Okay, so let's take a look at this from the top. Boom, easy. And here's the simple setup right down here. We have the Koopa that's hanging out here. It's running into this side spring, which bounces off here and allows enough time for it to pop up while we go over an obstacle up above, right? So I just made a really simple one. Now, of course, you would want to de-cheese this, so we would definitely want to make sure that we're adding in saws. You can also use icicles. It's not physically possible to jump over, right? So it can't be cheesed, and of course you could fill it in with aesthetics and all that, but same idea, except now it looks like there's just a random enemy flying up. Okay, let's look at one more example here. Something I've combined a few different elements into. We have a side spring in this music note block. We have a flying bone Koopa here. And what's gonna happen is there's a side spring that's gonna hit this shelmet. It's gonna activate the flying Koopa, bounce off this side spring, up on the note block, bounce against this wall, and then land over here. Let's take a look at that in real time. Boom. So, easy peasy, and now we would just want to cover up for cheese and create some obstacles, which you could do in many different ways. So we could do any number of things, but I'm just going to keep it really simple so we can just kind of see it in action. Let's take a look at this again now that it's essentially de-cheesed. Easy.